Finally sharing the family recipe for these yummy unleavened crepes. So if you aren't aware, you may ask, what is leavening? And according to the Oxford Language Dictionary, a substance used in dough or batter to make it rise, such as yeast or baking flour. There are 5 different types of leavening agents, such as yeast, baking soda, baking powder, buttermilk, and this is the difference between unleavened bread and regular leavened bread. And the main difference is it contains a leavening agent and one does not. So for Passover and unleavened bread, we eat unleavened bread. We are commanded to. You can eat matzos. Traditional crepe recipe does contain baking powder, which is a leavening agent, but my unleavened crepes do not contain any leavening agents, thus making them unleavened. So here are the ingredients you're going to need. 3/4 cups of flour, 3 eggs, 1 cup of milk, 3 tablespoons of melted butter, half a teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of oil, and 1/3 cups of sugar. First, I'm going to begin to work with my dry ingredients. I'm simply just going to take the salt and I'm going to add that into the flour that is already measured out, and now I'm going to add in the sugar as well. I know you can add sugar to the liquids and the wet ingredients, but I just decided to add it into this bowl. Doesn't really matter. It's all going in the same place in the same bowl. But now I'm just going to take the salt, the sugar, and the flour mixture, and I'm going to whisk that together. It's not going to be all the way combined, but just to, have a decent mix to mix into our wet ingredients once they are prepared to create our batter. Now that it's mixed up, I'm just going to set this to the side and start working on our wet ingredients. So first, I'm going to crack 3 large eggs into a bowl, one by one. And I'm going to now add in my 1 cup of milk. I'm using almond milk. And now I'm adding in the 2 tablespoons of oil and the 3 tablespoons of melted butter. I'm going to give this a good whisk. It's a little bit hard to combine, but you just got to give a good whisk. And now I'm going to start adding in half of my flour mixture and just stirring that up. The clumps will come out, you guys. You just have to keep on whisking. But if you want to make this recipe a little bit easier on yourself, you can add this into a food processor or a blender. Literally dump all of the ingredients, blend it up until smooth. As you can see, I'm choosing to do it by hand just to show you guys that it is still a very simple recipe. As you can see, my batter really became together and the lumps came out once I switched to the metal whisk. But now I'm just going to cover this with some cling wrap and let it chill in the fridge for a little bit. This just helps our batter become a little bit more thicker. And yeah, so now I'm going to start working on my fruit. I'm just going to cut up my strawberries, and I'm just gonna use this as one of my toppings for my crepes. You can really use variety, but this is the traditional topping that my family chooses to enjoy every single time. Like, strawberries and crepes are a must in my mom's household. And I've just adapted the tradition myself since I've moved out. But now I'm just going to add my cut berries into a bowl. And I'm just going to simply sprinkle some sugar. This is cane sugar on top, just a little bit, and give it a good stir. And when you do this and you allow your berries to sit a bit while you are preparing your other toppings and your crepes, it's going to make its own juice, like syrup. I was so upset for the next part because I thought I was recording when I added the blueberries and water and cane sugar. And as you can see, I did manage to get the lemon juice on camera. But now I'm just going to bring this to a boil. And this is pretty much how I make like a blueberry type syrup for my pancakes, French toast. And today it's for my crepes. So I'm just taking a heat-proof spatula and kind of bursting the berries with the back of it, just to get, more of a syrupy like compote for our topping. But as you can see, that is ready. And now we're going to move on to our cheesecake like filling. I'm taking half a block of softened cream cheese, some lemon juice, some more cane sugar, and a little bit of vanilla extract, and I'm just going to stir this together. I did heat up my cream cheese in the microwave a little bit, that's why it's a little bit watery. So I'm just going to put this in the refrigerator to solidify while we start making our crepes. As you can see, our batter has come together nice and smooth and looks velvety. I should have angled the bowl down a little bit more so you guys could see better, but now I'm going to add a pat of butter into a small skillet, and this will be the skillet that we are going to be frying up our crepes in. I did add a little bit too much butter initially for the first crepe, but don't that always happen with pancakes and stuff? You'll get the hang of it, you know, the more that you do it, as of anything in life. So now I'm going to take a ladle full of my crepe mixture, and I'm just going to move it around. If you've never seen anybody make crepes before, I ain't saying I'm doing it perfectly, but this is somewhat of a technique that you utilize for making crepes. It's about the flick of the wrist. You move the batter around and you let it bubble. You see it forms a little bit of bubbles in the center, but that's really what the baking powder does, and the crepes that you will get at a restaurant. That's why I don't have like a bajillion bubbles all over the surface, but I'm just letting them get a little bit golden brown. And yeah, I'm gonna keep on doing this, showing you guys the process of frying up the crepes. This is a little bit better of an angle of where I was telling you guys the flick of the wrist motion of making the crepes. You just move the batter around and it'll stick. This is how you get kind of a thinner crepe, even though the thin ones are leavened, and this one's a bit thicker and eggier just because it does not contain any leavening, but it still tastes bomb. I like these better than regular crepes, honestly. So now that I'm taking my last crepe out of the pan, I am telling you guys this recipe, as I'm giving you the measurements for in the beginning, makes about 6 crepes. Can feed 1 to 6 people depending on how many crepes you're trying to give people. But now I'm just going to cook up my gosh off uncured turkey bacon. If you guys I sleep on gosh alls, you need to wake up, honey. This is the best turkey bacon you can get. If you say you don't like rubbery turkey bacon, it tastes like a bell, all type of stuff, go to Sam's Club, Walmart, Google where you can buy gosh alls, because you need to get you some. And this ain't sponsored, baby, but tell them to sponsor me. I also think the people who say they don't like turkey bacon don't know that you can crisp up turkey bacon as well. So now I've laid out all of my toppings. As you can see, my strawberries got some juice in there. My cream cheese thickened up. My berries looking nice. And I also sliced up some bananas. So now I'm just going to lay down my first crepe. I'm going to take a little bit of that cheesecake filling, smear it down the middle, add some strawberries on top, lay those down the middle. And then when you are done adding your fillings, however much you want to, fold it up and you on to the next one. As you see, I did the same thing with the blueberry filling, the cheesecake first, the blueberries on top, and now I'm folding that, setting that one to the side. And I'm just going to keep on doing this. You also literally have full control to make these savory or sweet. Just omit the sugar if you want it savory. You could add a little bit of cheese into it. You could do some bananas and Nutella. You could do, I don't know, like the world is your oyster, honey. Do some chicken and spinach crepes if you want to. But as you see, I chose to go sweet because this is a family tradition of ours. We have been making this for like 14 years, me and my mom, for our family during the Feast of Unleavened Bread. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please try this recipe. Let me know what you think and share it with your friends and your family. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And peace.